Hi everyone, welcome to Vince's workshop. Today we practice on solving quadratic equation by square root property and completing the square. So first of all, let's talk about solving a quadratic equation by square root property. So in example 1, we have x squared minus 12 equal to 0. So we're going to solve for x. So first of all, let's isolate the x by move 12 over. We're going to do is add 12 on both sides. So that will give me x squared, add 12 on both sides. That will give me x squared equal to 12. Then to get rid of the square, we're gonna do is square root both sides. We're gonna square root both sides. Then we have x equal to, when you square root both sides, the square and square root cancel out. But the answer, we always have positive and negative solution, plus and minus square root of 12. So the question is, can we reduce the square root of 12? So square root of 12 is the factor of 4 times 3, and 4 is 2 times 2. So we have x equal to plus and minus square root of 2 squared times 3. So I will call the square root is the gel was is the gel was locked by the lock of 2. So 2 has the key to match with the lock. So 2 unlock and go outside. So that will give me x equal to plus and minus 2 square root of 3. 3 doesn't has a key, so 3 stuck inside of the gel. Okay, that's the tip to help you take the square root easier. So let's go over example 2. We have 9x squared plus 25 equal to 0. So it's the same idea. We need to isolate the x. So subtract 25 on both sides. We will have 9x squared equal to negative 25. And keep going to get x by itself. I have to divide by 9 on both sides. Then we will have x squared equal to negative 25 over 9. Then to get rid of the square, we have to do square root on both sides. So we're going to do square root on both sides. Then square and square root will be cancelled out. Leave us with x equal to, so square root both sides, always have positive and negative solution. Square root of 25, negative 25 over 9. So we will have square root of 25 over 9. The negative inside of square root will turn out as I. Okay, stay outside of the square root. So our final answer is x equal to plus and minus. I prefer to put I in front of square root. My bad. X equal to plus and minus square root of 25 is 5 and square root of 9 is 3. So 5 over 3i is the final answer. So I believe you have some idea how to solve a quadratic equation by square root property. So now is your turn to practice and show me how do you understand it. I have 3 problems for you to practice on. Go ahead, work on them. If you get stuck, go back to the example. Okay, and then we will talk about those problems after 5 seconds. So you have 5 seconds to pause the video before we discuss about the solution. So I believe you have your answer already. Let's go over each of them. So the same idea like we did before, we need to isolate the x in problem 1. So I'm gonna do is add 18 on both sides. We will have x squared equal to positive 18. Then we do the square root both sides. So square root, we will have x equal to, make sure you have plus and minus on the constant side, so square root of 18. Then we need to simplify 18, square root of 18. Let me move my square root of 18 up here so we have some space down there to finish them up. So square root of 18 will be factored down as 9 times 2, and 9 is 3 times 3. So square root of 18 will be rewrite as 3 squared times 2. As you see, the log of this gel is 2, and 3 has the key is 2 matched with the lock. 3 unlock and go outside. So we have 3 outside the gel and 2 stuck inside. So you will have x equal to plus and minus 3 square root of 2. And that's it for problem 1. Now problem 2 is a little bit different with the answer, with the example. Problem 2 a little bit different with the answer. Problem 2 is a little bit different with the example, but I believe you still, if you understand the concept, you still know how to solve this. So as we see, x plus 2 inside parenthesis and then square equal to 9. So first of all, I need to get rid of the square. We have to do is square root on both sides. So when I do square root both sides, we have this and square root cancel out, give me x plus 2 equal to square root of 9, give me 3, but don't forget plus and minus 3. Okay. Then to isolate the x, I need to move 2 to the other side. So we subtract 2 on both sides. Then you have x equal to plus and minus 3 minus 2. Now this problem will break down at 2 cases. The first case is x equal to positive 3 minus 2. And the second case is x equal to negative 3 minus 2. So the first case we will have the answer is 1. The second case we have the answer is negative 5. And the answer, that is the answer for example 2. That is the answer for example 2, x equal to 1 and negative 5, or negative 5 and 1. Okay, last problem, example 3. So we need to isolate the x. I'm going to do is subtract 36 on both sides. So we have 4x squared equal to negative 36. And keep going. To get x by itself, I have to divide by 4 on both sides. So we have x squared equal to negative 36 over 4. Now to get rid of the square root, we have to do the square. To get rid of the square, we have to do is square root on both sides. So we have x equal to, don't forget the square and square root cancel out, give us the answer is plus and minus. And the negative inside of the square root, this negative, will turn out as the I. Square root of 36 is 6, and square root of 4 is 2. So 6 over 2, which I can reduce by 2, that will give me, or 6 divided by 2. Obviously 6 divided by 2 is plus and minus 3i. And that's the final answer for problem 3. Now let's talk about solving a quadratic equation by completing the square. So in example 3, we have x squared plus ax plus 7 equal to 0. So to solve this one by completing the square, our first step is get the leading coefficient is 1. Right now it's already 1, so we good. Then next step is isolate the x. So I have to move 7 over. We subtract 7 on both sides. So we have x squared plus ax equal to negative 7. I keep some blank here so that we're gonna do is fill in this blank. We're gonna add a blank square on both sides. Add a blank square on both sides. So the number in this blank will be the half of the middle term. So our middle term is positive a. So to fill in this plane, we take the half of a, so a divided by 2, give me 4. So the number in this parenthesis would be 4 and 4. 4 and 4 on both sides. Okay, why we need this one is 4. Let's go over the next couple step. You will see the reason why we need the half middle term square. So we have x squared plus ax plus 4 squared is 16 equal to negative 7 plus 16. So on the left hand side we have x squared plus ax plus 16, which can be factored by the diamond form. So we fill 16 on the top and the bottom is 8. We're looking for a pair which multiply give me 16 and add up give me 8. So the pair which work for this diamond form is 4 and 4. 4f4 give me 8 and 4 times 4 give me 16. So the answer is x plus 4 times x plus 4. And on the other side we have negative 7 plus 16 can be combined like term which give me positive 9. X plus 4 times x plus 4 twice will be rewrite as x plus 4 squared equal to 9. Now I believe now it's more clear why we need 16 here, because 16 is the number make your diamond form become a perfect square, which means you have exactly two binomial alike multiply each other will give me the square. Okay. We just complete on the square by adding the number make it perfect square. Now this problem go back to the previous example we practiced before, x plus 4 squared equal to 9. So we solve this one by square root on both sides. So let me move it up here, then we keep going solving this. So x plus 4 squared equal to 9. So to solve this, we're gonna do is square root on both sides. Do the square root on both sides. Then we have x plus 4 equal to, when we square root both sides, square and square root be cancel out, give me plus and minus. Square root of 9 which give me 3. Then we isolate the x, so subtract 4 on both sides. Then we have x equal to plus and minus 3 minus 4. Now the problem breaks down at two cases. First one is x equal to positive 3 minus 4, or x equal to negative 3 minus 4, because there's positive and negative. Okay, now we can complete them by calculate here. So 3 minus 4 give me negative 1, and negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. So our answer for this problem is x equal to negative 1 and negative 7. If you want, you can put them in the braces which tell me the element or the solution of x is negative 1 and negative 7. Now let's go over one more example to make sure we understand the concept how to solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. But this time I make the problem a little bit more challenging. I put the leading coefficient for our quadratic equation. So we have 6x squared plus 5x minus 6 equal to 0. The first thing we have to do is get the leading coefficient as 1. Right now we have 6 is the leading coefficient, this 6. So to make this 6 become 1, I have to do is divide every single term by the leading coefficient. Every single term by the leading coefficient. So 6 divided by 6 give me 1x squared, so it would be x squared. Let me show this out. 6 divided by 6 is 1 time, so we have 1x squared. We always need the leading coefficient is 1. And the rest will give me 5 over 6x minus 6 over 6, so which means minus 1 equal to 0 divided by 6 is 0. Okay, so we have x squared plus 5 over 6x minus 1. The next step is isolate the variable. We need to isolate x. So I need to move 1 over. So we add 1 on both sides. That will give me 1x squared, or let's write it down as x squared plus 5 over 6x equal to 1. Now my next step is adding a Planck square on both sides. Planck square on both sides. So filling this plane, as we know, is the half of the middle term. This will be the half of the middle term. So my middle term is 5 over 6. We divide it by 2 because we say that it's half of middle term. So divided by 2, we will have 5 over 6 divided by 2 over 1. So which means we multiply and flip. That will give me 5 over 6. Keep chain flip. So we flip this as 1/2. Then we multiply straight across. Give me 5 over 12. So 5 over 12 is the term I'm gonna fill in the plane. So 5 over 12 and 5 over 12. So if you go a long way, we have to do is square 5 over 12, which give me 25 over 144, and we do the diamond form to factor them out again, was really complicated because we do with fraction. So now we need to learn the trick way or the faster way to do this. So from this diamond form, I need to write in the complex in the square. So we know that we will have something look like this. We will have a parenthesis square. Then the term I have to fill in this parenthesis is my variable, and the sign of the term you add in, this one 5 over 12, which means it's positive 5 over 12, since this one is positive. So we will have x plus 5 over 12 squared. So we pick up the first term, and the term we add inside, we put in the blank. And from outside, you will have 1 plus 25 over 144. Okay. So to add 1 to 25 over 144, we need the least common denominator. So we would think that is 1 over 1. So multiply top and bottom for 144. So basically we just have 144 plus 25 over 144, which give me 169 over 144. Okay, let me bring this problem up here and we keep solving this. So x plus 5 over 12 squared equal to 169 over 144. So to solve this one, we need to get rid of the square. Then we have to do a square root on both sides. So square root on both sides. We have this will be cancelled out. Leave me with x plus 5 over 12 equal to, again, I'm always repeat this one, plus and minus. That's really important. Plus and minus. Square root of 169 is 13, and square root of 144 is 12, so 13 over 12. So seeing the next step is isolate the x, so we subtract 512 on both sides. So subtract 512 on both sides. That gives me x equal to plus and minus 13 over 12 minus 512. So we have plus and minus that will break down at two cases. And we will have, this time let me break down as vertical, the horizontally. So we have x equal to 13 over 12 minus 5 over 12. And the other side will be x equal to negative 13 over 12 minus 5 over 12. And excuse me on this, it should be 13 over 12. I missed the number. Then we solve each of them. 13 minus 5 will give me 8 over 12. Okay, and with 8 over 12 I can reduce by 4, by 4, that will give me 2 over 3. So 2 over 3 is the first solution. On this side we will have negative 18 over 12. If I reduce this by 6, so we will have negative 3 over 2 is my second solution. So the solution for example 4 is 2/3, and negative 3 over 2. So check, now it's your turn to practice on the problem and kind of you prove yourself, does you understand the concept or not. So go ahead, try on them. Make sure you understand how to factoring or know how to solve the quadratic equation by completing the square. Alright, so I have two problems for you to work on. Have fun, good luck everyone. If you get stuck, go back to the example. Alright, you have 5 seconds to pause the video. Let's start now. So, I believe you have your answer already. Now let's work through each of them and then see do we end up with the same answer or not. So problem 1, a squared plus 5a plus 4 equal to 0. So the first step is isolate the variable. So subtract 4 on both sides. That will give me a squared plus 5a equal to negative 4. So we need to keep some space there. So add the blank square on both sides. Add the blank square on both sides. So fill in the blank is the half of 5. So half of 5 which is 5 half. Okay, so we have 5 half on both blank. Okay, the next step is we rewrite this one in completing the square. So we will have again we pick up the first term and the number we add inside, so 5 half. If this one is negative, then you will have negative 5 half. Unfortunately, I make for problem is positive, but if you have the negative right here, that will be negative 5 half inside, then you will have a. If it's negative, then minus, but in this case it's positive, so positive 5 half, and then square equal to negative 4 plus this one will give me 25 over 4. Okay, so to add 4 and negative 5 over 4, I would think it's 4 over 1. Make the same denominator by multiply 4 and 4. So we will have something like negative 16 over 4 plus 25 over 4. So that will give me positive 9 over 4. So we have a plus 5 half square equal to 9 4. Then we do square root both sides to get rid of the square. So square root on both sides, we will have a plus 5 half equal to plus and minus 3 over 2. And one more time, plus and minus really important here. Then we isolate the variable by subtract 5 half on both sides. Let's say I'm out of space, so let's say 5 half here. We subtract 5 half on both sides. Then you will have a equal to plus and minus 3 half minus 5 half. Now this will be break down at two cases. So the first case is positive 3 half. So a equal to positive 3 half minus 5 half. And the second case is a equal to negative 3 half minus 5 half. So the top part will give me negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. And the bottom part give me negative 8 over 2, which is negative 4. So the answer for problem 1, a equal to negative 1 or negative 4 first because it's smaller number, negative 4 and negative 1. That is the final answer for problem 1. Okay, you have a few seconds to pause this video and write down the answer. then we will I will erase this and discuss on problem 2. Now on example 2 we have 8r squared plus 6r minus 9 equal to 0. And you see that we have the leading coefficient is 8. So we need to make the leading coefficient as 1. So the way we can do is divide all the terms by 8. So every term by 8. So that will give me 8 divided by 8 is 1. So basically we have 1r squared plus 6 over 8, which I can reduce by 2. So that will give me 3/4. 3/4r minus 9 over 8 equals to 0. Now we isolate the variable by move negative 9, 8 to the other side. So add 9, 8 on both sides. Add 9, 8 on both sides, which will give me r squared plus 3/4r, give some space here, equal to positive 9, 8. Then our next step is put in the plank, so add the plank square on both sides. We add a plank square on both sides. So fill in this plane is the half of the middle term. So our middle term is negative 3/4. So we're gonna take half of negative 3/4. I mean positive 3/4. So 3/4 divided by 2, which means 3/4 time with you thinking 2 over 1, then we flip it, give me 1 over 2. So that will be 3 over 8. So we fill in 3 over 8 into the plank, 3/8. So as we learned before, I can go to the shortcut from this step. So our completeness square will be parentheses square. Inside of this parenthesis is the term we have. Let me see. We have r squared and 3/8 is the term we added, and this is positive 3/8, right? Or from this side is positive 3/8. So we will have r plus 3/8 squared equal to, the other side we will have 9/8 plus 3/8 squared, so which means 9 over 64. 9 over 64. So to add 9/8 and 9/64, we have to do is multiply the first fraction by 8 to have the same denominator. So we will have 8 times 9 is 72 plus 9 over 64, which give me 81 over 64. So r plus 3/8 squared equal to 81 over 64. To get rid of the square, we're gonna do a square root on both sides. So when we square root on both sides, square and square root will be canceled out, leave us with r plus 38, 3 over 8, r plus 3 over 8, square root of plus and minus 9 over 8. Then isolate the r by subtract 3/8 on both sides. Subtract 3/8 on both sides. Then that will give me, I need some space, so I'm gonna erase this side. So that will give me r equal to negative plus and minus 9/8 minus 3/8. Then we split them up at two equations. The first one is r equal to positive 9/8 minus 3/8, and the second one is r equal to negative 9/8 minus 3/8. Then we add them up. So 9/8 subtract 3/8 give me 6/8, which I can reduce by 2, give me 3/4. So 3/4 is the first solution. The second part is negative 9/8 minus 3/8 give me negative 12/8. If I reduce this by 4, that will give me negative 3 over 2. So, and that is our answer. First one is 3/4, and the second one is negative 3/2. Alright everyone, to close today's section, I have 9 problems for you to practice on. Make sure you understand the concept how to solve a quadratic equation by square root property and completing the square. In problem 8 and 9, problem 8, you need to rewrite them a little bit. You may want the variable stay on one side before you do the completing the square, and make sure it's also have to have the leading coefficient is 1. Okay, and problem 9, the answer is a little bit weird. Is not a good answer, but it's still solvable as long as you understand how to solve the problem by completing the square. Alright, good luck, enjoy, and the answer will show up in the next 5 seconds, so you have 5 seconds to pause the video. Let's start now. Alright, answer up. I hope that we have correct answer, and if you get stuck, if you don't have the answer, try it one more time. Go back to the example, understand the concept, resolve the example by yourself without looking at the solving part. Then go back to the problem, try it one more time. Don't try to fix don't try to fix or find out what you did wrong. Just restart a new one. Okay. So because sometimes you go back to check your answer, you don't see what your mistakes is. So just put it on the side, work it on the new paper. Alright, so I hope I give you some tip of solving quadratic equation by square root property and completing the square. And as always, thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.